chip you off that bad things might become?
No, I mean, there's nothing. We just went out in the game, and obviously they scored that early goal, and we weren't quite ready, and then they got a corner kick where we just didn't get organized in time, and all of a sudden you're 2-0 down. But sometimes, I mean, if you could predict all those things, obviously you wouldn't, then you would stop it. But you can't predict it sometimes.
Does the game plan just go out the window after that second goal?
Uh, I mean, overall, when you look at the soccer over the 90 minutes and you look at just the run of play, I don't think they killed us in the run of play. But it's the league's so tight. I mean, it showed, when DC beat Real Salt Lake in the Open Cup. I mean, it's anybody can beat anybody on a given day in this league, and if you come out and you're a little bit flat, or every team's going to get opportunities. If they scored during their opportunities and they got their first two opportunities and scored goals right away, and Schmid came up big actually a couple of times for us as well, and we had chances and didn't score, and that's the game.
Everybody gets blown out now and then, but is there anything with the Sounders, maybe particularly the aggressive approach on the road, or anything else that lends itself to the games getting away from snowballing a little bit on you guys?
No, I mean, it happens. It happens. I told the guys the year we won the championship with LA, we got blown out. I think in Dallas 5-1. And I remember going down to Miami and getting blown out by the Fusion one time. So stuff like that happens, and it's sometimes you're gonna we're always gonna go into road games and play the game to win the game. We're not going to go in with a defensive attitude and sit back and try and just hold on for a 0-0. Sometimes games turn out that way, but that's never our plan going in. And you even saw at the start of the second half, I thought we had some really good looks. Eddie's header, could easily have been a goal. Eddie's off the crossbar. Evans coming in on the left-hand side. So those are all chances that if we convert well on those three chances, for example, all of a sudden it's 4-4, and everybody's singing a different tune. So it was a case of they finished their chances well, and hats off to them. They did that really well, and they pressed and came out with a lot of fire early, and we didn't finish our chances as well.
Does it? Good.
How do you shake this off in such a quick turnaround before your next game?
A quick turnaround makes it easier because you just, you got a game coming up on Wednesday, so you'd rather have a game coming up than sit on it and stew on it for the whole week. So we know what our task is for Wednesday, and we want to secure a playoff spot on Wednesday. We haven't done that yet, and we'd like to wrap up Cascadia Cup if we can. So those are our objectives for Wednesday, and we want to come back. We got to show, who we are and what we are. And Saturday night in Colorado, in Denver, was not who we are.
Does it feel like you have to start momentum from the beginning, or is there any of that still from just not too long ago being on a good run?
No, I mean, there's no, it's like you can't get too high, you can't get too low, and one game can't define, your whole existence. You can't use outliers, and you can't use deviations from the standards and saying, this is reality. Reality is what you do on a general day in, day out time. And I think day in and day out, we've been a pretty consistent team, and we've been pretty solid. And so we had an outlier here, and a game that didn't fit what we normally do. So now we either believe that is reality, or we believe what we normally do is reality, and we believe what we normally do is reality, and we got to get back to it.
What did you make of the two players, but not three players, that you lost to the national team?
Well, obviously Clint's still recovering, from his injury, and Jurgen understood that. We spoke as well, and felt that it was a good chance for him fitness-wise to make some things up, to make sure his hamstrings gets 100% ready. We want him ready for the playoffs. Jurgen wants him ready as well for their final things in the World Cup and everything else. So it's a win-win for both sides. So Eddie and Brad are in there, and so we'll obviously miss them in these next two games. But we'll see how Clint continues to develop this week.
You see both decisions as for 2 games. Both of your players stay for 2 games, and you do not see Dempsey being called for penalty.
I don't know. I mean, I can't read Jurgen's mind, so I don't know if he's going to make changes I don't know if they win the first game and they secure the championship of the group. Is that going to change their minds? Do they think that they have a shot at getting into the top 7 or 8? For the FIFA rankings. I mean, that seems like a long shot, but maybe it's not a long shot. Depending upon what happens, because there's teams that are ranked in those top 12 that might not qualify. I mean, Uruguay might not qualify, and Greece isn't going to qualify. So there's teams that are ahead of them that aren't going to qualify. So maybe when they look at it that way, they're not that far away. So the importance of the results weigh into it. That's a decision you're going to have to make.
What is the likelihood that Clint's able to play this week for you?
We'll see. We continue, every day a little bit more, a little bit more shooting, and so far today he feels really good. The progression has come along really well for him, and so now we'll see how he feels tomorrow. That'll make a determination in regards to Wednesday, and then we'll make our determination after Wednesday for Sunday. So it's basically game by game. But I think chances of him being able to start getting on the field, improve as this week goes on.
What kind of adjustment?
Martins, it was just, he was still not fully recovered from the cortisone injection, and was still having some issues with it. But the rest over the weekend has helped settle that down. He said he felt pretty good. We'll see how he feels tomorrow after the training today, and hopefully he'll be able to go Wednesday.
What kind of adjustments do you make with Brad and Eddie out?
Obviously we got to make positional changes, again, but. With Oba coming back in, Nagel's shown that he can play up front for us as well. And Brad pushed out to the left side of midfield for us in the last game. So now we just got to see who goes into that position out there.
Was that a hip groin type thing? Is that what he's been dealing with?
It's been a groin, injury, pubic symphysis.
And between sort of, I guess, Zaccharoni, Traore, Gonzalez, any of those either firmly in or out?
Jimmy did more today. We did some running with him at the end, so now it's a case of how he feels tomorrow. He felt pretty good today upon what he did. Leo's feeling better each day. Is it enough for Wednesday? We'll see. Is it enough for Sunday? Probably. He's making good progress, and again, for him, it's how does he feel, tomorrow.
And how did Remick both get into the 18, and what did you think of his?
Remick was in our 18 the whole way, even when Oba dropped out at the last minute, and Zaccharoni. I thought he did well. I thought it was a game. Obviously, once we were losing, I said to the coaches at halftime that it's a game we're going to give Remick a run, because I think he's been doing well at training. He's been doing well in the reserve games, and I thought he did well. I thought he came in and did well. I mean, in fact, even for him as a young guy, when Zach got thrown out, that he went inside and played stopper. I thought maybe Birch would go inside, but instead Remick went inside, and I thought that was great. And he wasn't afraid of the responsibility. And I thought early when he played left back, he was the one that crossed the ball for Eddie's shot that hit the crossbar. He wasn't intimidated by the situation, which I think was a very good sign.
Speaking of Scott's second yellow, does that change anything this week? I know he was already going to be out for Wednesday, but obviously losing him for.
Yeah, it obviously affects things, and it was, Zach will admit that it was a silly foul, the second one, because Patrick was right there, and, he really didn't do much, but the guy is going to go down like, he's been molested. And, obviously the referee called it, and it was a second yellow for him. So it's something that, we have to avoid in the future.
4 cards for him in 2 games is what has probably
It's too
been his
many.
best season. I mean, is he kind of losing grasp of where the line is, or is he just being put in bad spots? Or
In the first yellow, if you look at the game, the first yellow card, he slipped. He was going tight to the guy, just to be tight to the guy, and he slipped. So now that's going to happen sometimes, and he ends up taking a yellow card, because of that. So it wasn't a bad tackle, it wasn't a mistimed tackle or anything like that. He just slipped, and so now he's got that yellow card hanging on him, and then the second one. So you have to look at each situation differently. I think Zach knows where the line is, but he's been a little bit unlucky.
What do you make of this Cascadia week with all 3 teams playing against each other in succession like this?
I know, it's great. Who did that? The schedulers at MLS, they come up with that? Is that at Cascadia week? No, it's good. You know, it's good. It'd be nice if, you know, we didn't have to play 3 games in the week, you know, and the others get to play on the weekends. But it'll be good. You know, the test against Vancouver will be interesting on Wednesday. Obviously, we're coming into the games with similar type of rest. You know, they had a nice comeback to end up with a tie in their last game, and obviously the game's an important game for them, but it's also an important game for us.
You guys have a chance to win Cascadia Cup or draw. Is that something you guys talk about?
Yeah, it's something we've talked about already, you know, and we'd rather do that at home for our fans at home.
Probably were asked it after the game, but the Hurtado and Ozzie and Mauro subs, is that looking ahead to 2 games in 5 days? Or?
Yeah, I mean, at the point at halftime, we knew that Zack was going to be out, you know, for the next game. So I wanted to keep Zack on the field and take Kennedy off so that we could use him again on Wednesday, so he wouldn't have 3 full games on his belt. And same thing with Morrow at that time. I thought if we caught a couple of goals really early in the half, we would keep going. But, you know, we were 65 in at that point, and I said, let's get Morrow off so he can come back on Wednesday as well. Because sometimes when we've had 3 games in a week, we'll play him on the weekends and not play him on the Wednesday. But this gave us a chance. And at the end, it was the same thing. Ozzie plays a lot of minutes for us to save a little bit of his legs as well.
You've been happy with the way you've been able to manage Rosales' minutes. I think this is a career high for him, and at least in games played.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's playing well lately. As also, you know, he's working hard, and I think, you know, we have managed his minutes a little bit, and I think that's helped us at the end.
Anything else? Love. Talk. Play. Love, talk, play. 3 simple but very important things that you can do every day to give your baby or toddler a great start in life. For free tips and ideas, visit lovetalkplay.org.